$65,000 a year to a development authority. I read in the Journal Herald, the county has $2.5 million on hand to hand over to development authorities once the right bunch gets on the board. It's my opinion that if you have $65,000 to waste in such a manner, then you need to consider lowering the millage rate, or considering the times we are in, use the funds to hire another deputy to patrol the school areas in the county, or just beef up the sheriff's department on another $65,000. And the supposed $2.5 million, why would anyone even consider buying more property or whatever for development authorities when the transportation system is not in place to support what is already here? And we are already paying a county manager, 5 members of the Georgia General Assembly, a U.S. congressman, and 2 U.S. senators. Why in the world do we need one more person on the payroll for industry? The county manager's secretary can handle that task. It's really simple. Just give them the telephone number to the Small Business Administration. That is their job, to guarantee loans for business needing to buy land or needing capital or whatever. It is not our duty to provide freebies to what I would describe as deadbeat business. I believe if you had this money, it would be better spent improving our transportation system. We wouldn't need to beg the state for money for an overpass on US 1 at the city limits. We could do it ourselves and start soon. We don't need a big waste of money either, like Mount Crawley is on US 1 North. A simple, short hilltop overpass that you can slow down to 10 miles per hour if you need to be to get across it. Consider Jamestown at the Baptist Church. There are over 120 homes between the tracks and the river. Some really nice homes. I would estimate these people pay well over $150,000 to $200,000 per year in property taxes. Why not an overpass or bridge across the Sapilla for them? We could run a bridge across near the Okefenokee Golf Club, and once there, commercial interest and industry can build up near the golf club community. I am sure they would be willing to have their neighborhood negatively impacted, like so many in Pierce County suggest we continue to do. We could also use the money to pave some roads, repave some roads, put more lights and plant life in downtown Waycross, beef up and repair the sewer and streets in downtown Waycross. But be good stewards, not getting carried away and tricked into taking tax money and prettying up other people's buildings or property. But if that is going to be the case, I would like a couple of $100,000 myself, of freebie tax money to enhance my own property. I don't know what all is in the works, but the winds have the stench of manure in them. And I think it would be prudent, cooling the engines and giving the public ample time to access any plans. Being in a hurry and not considering undesirable consequences is why the traffic is horrible like it is. Some in the past had rather worry about that later, as long as they could get their hands on tax money. Well, later is here now, and I believe we're going to have to deal with it now before pursuing any more pie-in-the-sky, ill-conceived development authority created projects. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, sir. Would you never mind leaving us a copy of that?
Are those yours or someone else's?
Never mind.
They're your words.
Take it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you
for your
Mr.
time.
Sears, for coming.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
All right. Let's see. Those of you that seen the newspaper last week, I think it was Saturday, Friday or Saturday's paper. Ware County Fire Department gets fleet of trucks at a windfall price. I want to thank Mr. Meyer for the wonderful write-up. And I was going to ask Chief Jordan, has he got anything you want to say, you want to add to?
I just appreciate the article Mr. Meyer wrote. Did a fantastic job on it. Water and chemicals are like the article stated. We're going to do tankers, try to replace some of the equipment we got that was secured back in the 70s. You had a big part of that, Jeremy. It's time to move forward, and that's what we're going to try to do here.
That's unreal to get trucks of that magnitude for $100. That blew my mind whenever, and I thought years ago, and we did, we got some cheap, not the magnitude of that, that's.
We should get a lot of good service out of it. It's gonna be a very low cost too.
20,000 to 7,000 miles, that's quite a, that's impressive there. You'd have to drive them all the way from El Paso, Texas. That's,
Can I say something?
yes, ma'am.
This is not the first thing that Jesse Jordan has done for this county, and I would just like to recognize the fact that Jesse is a good man, doing a great job in a fine position, and I'm thankful for him.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on. Thank you for your words, Jesse. Okay, request, item 1 under tab A, Commissioner's request to approve resolution set published qualifying fees. That's under tab A.
Resolution, what resolution is that? I'm missing something.
Setting qualifying.
Oh,
It's
okay.
got tab A.
Okay. 2 years. Yeah, I read that. Yeah. All right.
It's something we have to do every 2 years, every 2 years.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay? Make sure y'all okay.
Yes, sir, got to do it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, place that on consent. Tab B. Item 2, Commissioners. Request to make appointments to the Ware County Board of Assessors, Post 1. Term expired December 31, 2015. It's held by Jimmy Johnson, who is here. And I have a request. I think we all got the request from Miss Kathy Mixon that's set inside of it. Request for consideration of nomination to fill the vacancy as a member of the Board of Assessors. Okay, Commissioners, what's y'all's?
We need a recommendation of one or the other for tonight, to move to tonight's meeting. Is that the way we do it?
We see both here.
They're both
Do you
here.
want to invite them up to say a word or something? Okay.
Give them opportunity to
Yeah.
say something.
You want us to come up and speak?
If you want to.
Yeah,
You
you don't have to.
I just
Out of courtesy.
doing a community service here. Come on, Kathy, have a seat.
I mean,
My name's Jimmy Johnson. I've served 2 terms on the Board of Assessors. My term expired 12/31. I wrote a letter in. The burden of appointment belongs to the commission, and whatever y'all decide, I'm happy with.
Where we do or where we don't, you
Whether you do or whether you don't, I'm happy in my own skin.
can't say it no plainer than that.
And I'm Kathy Mixon. I did write, request an appointment to the board. I've lived here all my life. I've dealt with maps, plats, land, values, appraisals for 40 years. And I would like the opportunity to serve on the board, but as Jimmy said, that's y'all's decision.
Has anybody told you the criteria to hold that position? You have to have to get certified. Oh, you done seen
Yes,
all
sir.
Went through all of that
Yes,
already?
sir.
You done been to appraisal school?
Well, I have. No, it's been years ago. I would
Okay.
need to be refreshed, but I've worked with all that for
Yes,
for
ma'am. I'm just
years.
asking, you know, so.
Yes, sir.
My question is, if Jimmy's comfortable in your skin, why'd you bring your camera?
I'm gonna do a community service.
Oh, I see.
I'm gonna put this on YouTube so for public consumption.
Oh, I see.
it's going to be
People
a
are
month.
invited to come?
Yeah, I'm gonna come to every meeting.
Okay.
I'm just kinda paving the way for when I can't come, I'll pay a college kid to come down here, $20 to do it.
That's good.
I'm gonna do something that the county won't do for itself and make it affordable.
Well, that's
When we
great.
do it at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. I don't know that I'll make back for the consent meeting, but you know,
Yeah. Well,
the working meeting's where the nuts and
If
bolts.
you can't make it back, you send your camera.
If I can find some, would you run it for me?
No, I don't want to run it for you.
He'll be up there. He can't, he won't be.
Man, I just wanna serve my community in whatever fashion the commission sees fit. If not, I'll do this. I've been doing it for 18 years, so, you know, with the Board of Equalization and the Board of Assessors, whatever the commission decides, I'm happy with. I've known Kathy for 30 years. She used to work for me.
I make a motion that we place Miss Kathy on the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Okay. Y'all okay with Miss Kathy?
Yes, sir.
I go with recommendations. I know Jimmy, I don't know Miss Kathy, that's why, it's kind of tough sometimes to
I'm fine
to
with it.
I
understand.
know them both, they're both fine people, but
Yeah.
she's coming out of the darkness
Place
to
this
want to
on the
serve.
consent
And I
agenda.
appreciate that.
Miss Kathy?
We done?
Yes, sir.
Good deal.
Thank y'all.
Congratulations.
I can't tell you. Is it paid, just a paid position?
Whenever they come in and work, so they get a little,
criteria.
yeah, then they get a little stipend.
Then you gotta go 40 hours a
They work.
No, it's
Plus the abuse that comes with it. I know there's some of that comes with it. Well, I
I
don't.
went for 2 years. I could do that.
I'm probably the same thing.
So they do this over so 5 years.
It's been a while, they need refreshing.
You don't know?
It's a hard task, I realize. But
I've been there for 2 years, so.
You can do it, brother. You have.
What that, so you been in the library?
2 years ago.
No, it don't matter to me.
You can do it.
I don't mind serving. I mean, none of the rest.
Well, between you and Carlos.
No, I'll go. I'll be right.
You,
Yeah.
okay. Everybody okay with Commissioner Nelson serving on the library board?
Yes, sir.
You didn't live in a railroad town.
I've really enjoyed working with the ladies over there. They got gentlemen, they
Oh,
got
they're good
good
people.
organization, and I've enjoyed being there. I think I missed one meeting in I think I served 2 years.
In that case, you only miss one meeting.
Huh?
You said you only missed one meeting, you wanna go ahead and do it?
No, you've already.
We already
Okay, let's move on, I got you.
All right, so you gonna
No
serve?
problem, I was just joking.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's see, the next one, request to appoint Athea Weatherspoon to the Recreation Board. Tilly, excuse me.
Is she with us today?
I believe she is.
Expired. Would you
You've
mind,
been wanting to meet
you wanna come up and,
this lady you were wanting.
come up with it, Rod? And,
Is this the same lady that you were wanting to?
I know we had said, we did a kind of a policy, so if we seen one of the board members, we know, well, that's a board member on the rec board or the library board or whatever. Does any commissioners have any questions for this lady? Kind of tell us about yourself. Give us a report.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. My name is Artelia Witherspoon. I currently work at the Heritage Bank. I am the branch operations manager in Blackshear. I live at 1801 Marshall Drive here in Waycross. My husband is Terry Witherspoon. I've been in Waycross now, it's going on 9 years. We have 2 boys together, and I have been asked probably back, what was it, about 2 years ago, to be a coach for to be assistant coach for a little 5 and 6 year old basketball team. And I kind of sort of was hesitant, and then I said, I grew up with the recreation department when I was in my younger days with my mom. I'm from, sorry, I should have said this before. I'm from Jessup, Georgia. And my mother.
Yellow Jack.
Stop right there.
Should I have not said that? I'm sorry. I'm from Wayne County. My mother, she was always out with the recreation department, so I started playing basketball, softball, all that kind of stuff, so, which carried me to whereas I started keeping score. I was a referee for it, and it's just, I feel that since I have boys now, that I just want to give back to Ware County since I now live in Ware County.
How long did you say you had lived in there?
It's 9 years.
Ma'am?
9.
9 years?
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions?
My question is,
Ron or her?
my question is, who is it that, or is there anyone that nominated?
We got a letter of recommendation from our recreation director. I guess after he vetted or suggested to her, or requested that she be on the board, so the letter of recommendations in our package here from our recreation director.
Okay, well, according to their order, to their, bylaws, is this commission that makes the appointments to that board.
That's why he made the suggestion that you consider her as an appointment in his letter.
And if we have another candidate,
Bring them forward, I mean.
Bring them forward.
Matthew Sanford is here with us. He also has, this is, I think, about his third or fourth time coming up here in a row trying to be appointed to the Recreation Board. I know Matt, since he was born, I know he's a third generation Recreation Board member. His father was on the board. His grandfather worked for the Recreation Department over on Grove Avenue, and he can have a seat and tell us about himself if he'd like.
Let's add another chair.
But if he gets on the board, he'll be the third generation in a row.
I'd like to ask Rod, how do y'all come up with your selection? Y'all have a way of interviews, does the board interview? I know you got rules there, and that's one thing that I think any appointment to any board, we should have a set of guidelines to look at to say, this is how they determine who they selected and recommended to this commission.
Normally,
For all appointments, not just president.
right, normally when somebody's terms come up, I normally start looking out for some people to fill those spots. So what I normally do is I normally talk to those people on my own and just make sure that they have a level head when they're dealing with kids. A lot of grown-ups tends to lose the big picture. A lot of them don't really pay attention to the kids. The stuff they say comes out of their mouth. You know, just a lot of safety stuff and etiquette, all that kind of stuff plays into what I feel like is my decision. Then I take that before the rec board, and then if the rec board have any other people that want to serve, then they decide who they want me to present to the commission. But a lot of time is, you know, if they have kids in our program, they have grandkids in our program. You know, that's a lot of the things that I take upon making that decision and setting it before the recreation board.
Yes, sir. That's right.
When you said that, let's see how you said it, you said most of the time you began looking for replacement, that's what you said there about,
When the term is
when a term is about to expire.
expired.
So you kind of pick and choose who you talk to, I guess, who you ask.
Based on how they present themselves out there in public.
Have you talked to Matthew?
I've known Matthew, as a matter of fact, Matthew works for us, keeping score, and I brought his name up.
About 3 years now, keeping score, coaching. I've coached several basketball teams, both by myself and in conjunction with other people.
So you have talked to Matthew about a position on the board before?
Well, he brought me an application, and
Let me, if you don't mind, let me say that my route here today has been kind of circuitous. When we first asked about what the qualifications were to be put on the rec board, I was told both to submit an application to the county personnel department, which I did, and also to submit an application to the recreation department, which I also did. We were told that you had to have children in the program to be considered, which I know there are members of the rec board that do not currently have children in the program at the moment. We were told that there had to be a certain racial makeup of the recreation board, and that if a member of a certain minority was going out, then another one had to be elected. And I was told that was in the bylaws. I asked for a copy of the bylaws, and I joked around that the bylaws were kind of like the abominable snowman. There were rumors of them, but nobody seemed to have any proof. Nobody was ever able to give me a copy. I requested copies from 2 different places in November and never got a copy. I finally got a copy last Thursday from Miss Lisa here at the courthouse that had been approved the previous Monday. That's the only copy I've seen of any bylaws or any minutes to do with the recreation.
Approved by whom?
Well, it's signed by David Calloway and witnessed by Mr. Mitchell.
Well, that's their
Is that the board?
Mhm.
The board approved?
That's not the board, that's the chairman and the director.
Yes, exactly.
But did the board take official action to approve him?
I don't know. Whenever you ask when a recreation board meeting is, the typical response you get is, we'll let you know.
Ron, did they take action?
they did.
On those
They
bylaws?
approved, yes, sir.
So you have applied for this appointment, is what you're telling us
Yes,
here
sir.
today, and you have submitted the application.
To different places.
Is that
That's correct.
just as she has, you've done?
Yes, sir.
You've both done the same
Y'all
thing?
Yes,
both
sir.
done the same paperwork?
Okay.
Only difference is the rec board chose you as the appointee, their recommendation. Is that correct?
That was
That's
the
correct.
recommendation.
Do you have that? When y'all have your meeting? Do you have minutes so that you meet? Do
Yeah.
y'all have minutes or your rec board meeting?
Yes, sir.
Can I say something on the minutes? I've been trying for 3 weeks to get the minutes. So far, I've been postponed. I've been going through Miss Lisa. She's been handling it for me. I've got the minutes for January, February, March, and April. And the minutes don't exist any further than that. And everybody's saying it was somebody else's responsibility to have minutes. And I did get a copy of the January 4th of this year's minutes, which they passed new bylaws all of a sudden, since I've started checking into it, which the bylaws, in my opinion, are not legal. And I would like for our attorney to look over them. There's several points in there that I don't think is proper. But I don't know why I've been stopped from getting to look at the minutes.
You don't have minutes, all these other meetings, right?
Some of the meetings never made, because the rec board didn't, some of the members didn't show up, so we didn't have a quorum for those meetings.
So you didn't make any kind of documentation saying we didn't have a forum, therefore.
No, sir.
But may I also add, according to their own bylaws, if they go 3 months without a meeting, they're off the board. So there's a 4-month period there that they didn't have meetings. And there is no minutes. So in my opinion, their board doesn't exist. Because they're all off of it according to their own bylaws.
Well, it depends on who would miss the meeting, sir.
Pardon?
Depending on enough for a quorum to like here, if we had 2, that don't mean that, you know, if us 3 didn't show up, that don't mean that all 5 didn't show up. Come on, people.
Well, it would, if it was in our bylaws that after 3 meetings, you're off the board.
Yeah, individually, that don't mean as a
Well,
group.
but if we go out there and pick all of them that didn't show up for all those 4 meetings, each and every one of them would be off the board.
Who keeps up with the records of the meeting? Who keeps up with the minutes?
I do at the meeting, and then, my secretary takes them.
Transcribe. Not gonna have her transcribing like Lisa does, right?
Yeah. Well, I've talked to Lisa about it.
But see, I can't, because of not being able to get hold of the minutes, nothing is.
I would recommend to the commission that we, until we get all this issue resolved, that we not appoint anybody to that spot.
I'm in agreement with
So we can understand the total functions of the recreation
you. And
board.
we'll find out, get a little more clarity on.
Yeah, get a copy of that, we'll look at those and
Yeah, that our
there
attorney.
may be some opportunities for some success.
Just a couple of things. I do have some ideas about how, the recreation department, how I would like to see it improved. I mean, I'm not out for some personal agenda or something. I genuinely do care about the recreation program. And one of the things I'd like to see is if we have 7 members on the recreation board, nobody out there is participating seems to know who the members are of the rec board. And I think we should have at least 1 member of the board present at all the functions at the recreation department. If you have 7 members, sure, you got time to make 1 function a week.
And maybe have a group picture inside the recreation organization, is like we said some 2 or 3 years ago. And we appoint people, but we don't know who they are, but we.
Yes, well, nobody seems to know.
They may not been in here.
Yes, sir.
And then us look at them and say, yeah, that's Mr. So-and-so who's on
Yes, sir.
this board or that board.
This board also is the only board that we have that there's not a commissioner on. And I don't understand that. We just fill the position on the library board.
But they just handle, they don't handle any budgetary things or any kind of,
According to the
fiduciary
bylaws,
thing.
they do.
No, well, no, this commission handles all that. They handle sports things about rules.
But they recommend the budget.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
well, he recommends.
Definitely.
Well, actually, the rec board don't even
Yeah,
have
we
to.
control the spending.
So we do that. But the point I'm saying is, when I first came on, the rec board really wasn't doing it, and all the complaints came to this office. And we spent most of our meetings handling parent complaints and coaches' complaints, and the rec board has basically been, that's what they do.
But one of my points is that whenever you have a complaint there, you talk to person A, they tell you see person B tells you see person C tells you see person A, and person A says, we'll take it to the rec board. Well, when's our meeting? I'll get back to you. That's the response you get.
Do you have scheduled meetings?
We do, the rec board? Yes.
When do y'all meet?
We meet every first Monday
Every first Monday in each
of
month.
each month.
Is that something that's posted in the paper?
I'm not sure if they post it, but I knew that was their standing
It's not
meeting.
Yeah.
It was the first Monday of every month.
How much of a problem that be to include it in the postings for the?
I mean, public notices go in the paper about most meetings. They're not really a statutory meeting, and it's not required that they publish, because they do not make, like you said, they handle citizens.
Well, we certainly want all the sunshine shown, everything that we can. We want to
We
be sure
can
that we do our
include them
part.
just because we don't have to, doesn't mean we won't. I mean, well, we'd like to see it included also.
Let's just
So that
include
everybody
it in
knows.
Because it
the,
may be parents may want it. Do y'all ever have parents come to the meetings?
Sometimes we do, when we have, like I said, some parents that, might have got into a shouting match with another parent out there, you know.
But we want them all to go to you.
That's why we're gonna post it in the paper.
I still think though that one of the commissioners needs to be on that board. They're on all the other board members.
On the board?
7.
7. Okay,
That comes to a policy change or something, doesn't it?
You'll have to revamp how you set your recreation board up to.
Let's just, can we
Mr.
talk
Attorney,
about
let's
it?
just,
Yeah, let's, I mean, it's kind of, it's problem solved. Let's take one box and open it up and figure out what we got, you know, because we got an appointment process we need to try to figure out. And then structurally, you know, if there's concern, then we'll look at that after we try to figure out an appointment, because we do need to get the board seated, and then we can figure out.
Well, they do have a quorum, do they not? They've got enough members to
Right now.
carry
Yes,
on.
yes.
So if we can, let's just put it off a little while, table it.
let our attorney.
Yeah.
And I'll get Rod, can you get another copy of that? Or your minutes, what y'all have, y'all did have meetings, your secretary have all that?
You make copies of this.
At least,
Please, at least
Yeah,
get
we'll
copies of
get
it.
copies, if you'll scan and send it to me, then and then you give them back to the commissioner.
Okay, so,
I have another copy.
Oh, do you? Okay, then
so
I'll.
we gonna hold on this appointment.
Just be patient with us.
Yeah, you know, and this commission is very concerned, you know, I think Commissioner Dixon was one of the very first commissioners that mentioned to us, you know, about, well, I don't know these people, well, bring them in, let's look at them, see who they are and ask them questions.
Right.
And then whenever we see this lady on the street, so this lady's from one of our recreation. Let's just, not take any action on this. Today. We'll get it. Thank y'all.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, let's see, request to make to the Waco Brick County Development Authority Board, WDA, still unexpired term as of December 31, 2015.
Can I inject for just a second?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hilton wanted his name removed because of business obligations and opportunities that he's foreseeing coming into the new year. So I got a call today from the interim director of WWDA, and he said that Mr. Hilton, now Mr. Dighan, who did not know that Mr. Hilton was going to remove his name, is another, I think, suggestion in the next sheet. Mr. Buck Dighan of Coastal Pines. But anyway, I just wanted to put that in as a blurb.
So he don't want to be considered.
He can't, he says business obligations moving into the new year.
When is their next meeting?
When?
Have we got a notice tomorrow? What time?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Do we have a ex officio, you are ex officio member on the board?
And I have want to bring this up. Since we've got new resolution language that is going to be presented in Atlanta, I'd like to see us just hold off on it until we see what the outcome's going to be on the resolution. If what I think is going to happen, then we'll have to, that seat needs to stay vacant for a short period.
They can still function.
They still have a quorum, they can still conduct business,
Okay.
if that's agreeable with everybody.
Everybody okay with that, Commissioner?
Leaving the post open.
Leaving
Leaving
it
the
open.
post
Maybe
open.
we'll see the outcome of that.
So we taking no action on that?
Yeah, come and go.
All right, reappointments to the Board of Zoning and Appeals, all terms expired December 31. Is that the board that grand jury appoints?
No. No, you're talking about equalization.
Yeah, Board of
No,
Equalization,
that's-
yeah, I had that mixed up. Board of Appeals. Jeff Jones, Christie King, Foreman, Burton Carter.
None
County
of these
Clerk,
three people have,
County Attorney, Hall, Susan Smith, Tony Ryan.
Well, now, we need to take these appointments one at a time, not lump sum.
Wait, let's do that loud.
I know you.
Yeah, I'm just reading, I was just reading, I wasn't fixing.
Jennifer, I was wondering why he was here today.
Yeah, I was just reading them all.
I'm here finding what's going on.
Yes, sir.
All
Jeff
three of
Jones.
the zoning and appeals, none of these three have expressed the desire to come off, is that correct?
That's
They all
correct,
want
that's
to
correct.
Okay.
They're currently.
Everybody's good.
Put it on tonight's agenda. Let's
Yeah,
do-
that's
I'm
Each one of
satisfied
them,
with
the
all
board
three
is
of
on
them.
it.
Put them on the consent agenda.
That's fine.
Madam Clerk. Okay. County Clerk, Ms. Lisa.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Come on here and sit down and
We need to put you on
Well,
the
you-
consent.
And I'll say that about Jennifer too.
Talking about some code.
Let's write that in.
Mr. Attorney, can we do these consent or we need to call them out individually?
I think either way, I mean, I don't remember historically what we've
Just-
done.
I think we do it
I think
individually
all
on
your
four
calls.
appointments.
Yeah, I think you have.
Okay, that's
That's what I
fine.
think you've done.
I think we.
Okay, so
just done.
B, C, and D, we will,
Yeah. All the above individual.
Yeah, I think that's historical.
how about his?
Well, she goes along with the package.
Oh,
We got D, D,
Board of
Are
Health.
we gonna reappoint him for the time?
Board of Health.
Sure about that?
Give me a lot of work to do. That's I think like we're that good today, you know, there's a lot going on.
You know what, I've looked around, I've seen a lot worse.
That news, sure, isn't it?
Rodney Music. Everybody okay with Rodney, soon will stay?
Yeah, Uncle Rodney, yes, sir.
Would you take Uncle Rodney?
Okay, do we need to, can we consent agenda?
You separate.
Yeah, let's take that whole slate.
Yes, just
Oh,
separate.
okay. Jeff Jones, Christie King, all of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Good enough. Okay, item 4, request to approve 2 joint resolutions between the city of Waycross, Ware County and the school board under tab D. I think that's the, joint resolution between the city.
Can you open that?